Ann, and we're here today with Narendra, who is a spiritual master teacher and the founder of Spirituality for Results. Thank you for watching. Hi, today I'd like to ask you, what are some ways that we could make significant spiritual growth or fast progress? Or, everybody wants to grow, and sometimes it feels like a difficult thing when you feel kind of stuck and you go, what could I do? And you want to do something, but you don't know what to do.
Yes, there are, like you rightfully said, there are so many different ways, and people are going to churches, or they're going to yoga centers, or they're following a particular spiritual system. One of the things that I notice is that a lot of places, they are not giving feedback to the seekers. For example, if one of us was to travel from here to Florida, and we know, say, it's about 800 miles or 900 miles from here, then it's a fair question to ask, like how children say when they're sitting in the back, are we there yet? Are we there yet? They try to irritate you. Not necessarily, but they're just curious. And that is just natural human curiosity. And what is, it never sat well with me when they are not giving you very specific, concrete information as to where you are, how much more you have to go, or better yet, is it in some way that I'm coming in my own way? Or how I can remove the roadblocks so I can move faster? Or, well, you're stuck in a traffic jam, or maybe there is a snowstorm. And if they let you know that much, then at least you can understand why you're not making as much progress. In scheme of things, let's say that if you have somebody, Jesus, living in your neighborhood, and if you have an opportunity to go visit him whenever you want, I think you're going to move along pretty fast. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
And that's my point. So, in a way, you are kind of left to yourself. And what I see is that when people get caught up in what I call the hard, old-fashioned spirituality or religious way of thinking, you have basically caught yourself in the same box that was given to you by a minister or by your denomination. And if they themselves never ask those questions, how are they going to help you? But this is where the new brand, a new way of professional people, educated people like us, will be asking questions. Because whenever you are working on a project, let's say you have done a lot of work in the software projects, and there's always a beginning and an end. And somebody's asking, give me progress. Where are you? Are you 50% done? Are you 30% done? And if you are not the way you thought you should be, then you have to at least explain to the team or the management, well, I thought I was supposed to be at 40%, but I'm only 20%. And then it's fair for them to ask you, what happened? Is something going on? Well, I never got the software. You guys are supposed to ship it over. I have never got it yet. So without that, I'm kind of dead in the water, so to speak. And that's a reasonable thing to say, right? And I never understood why the people in the field of spirituality, who are really, quote unquote, calling themselves teachers and helpers of people who want to make spiritual progress, never want to talk on those terms. And so it never sat well with me. So my spiritual teachers and my spiritual guides, I didn't let them get away with that. And whether it was appropriate or not, in my mind, it was appropriate and reasonable thing to ask. So I got all over their case. That no, you owe me an answer. You owe me something very specific. And historically speaking, what I see people in religious community and spiritual community, they don't like to talk about anything specific. And at some point you start to wonder if there's some kind of conspiracy going on or self-serving hypothesis going on where they are thinking, well, all they are interested in is that you forever continue to tithe and give 10% of your salary to them. They got a good business going. Why should they tell you that, well, you make some progress, say in 3 years, they might lose a client and they'll lose some money. It's a similar argument with a therapist of a questionable quality. Because if you have an issue, as far as you are concerned as a customer, would you please get to the point and tell me what I need to change? But there have been many shady therapists and psychoanalysts who will keep on stretching forever. Because as far as they're concerned, every Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock, they got a client who's going to pay them $100. And guess what? You only get service of 50 minutes. Mm-hmm. 50 minutes and I'll see you next week. Mm-hmm. So, but I'm not saying all of them are bad, don't get me wrong. But we have to hold these people accountable. We have to hold these people accountable. And it's perfectly reasonable for you to ask, well, how far I have to go? Where I have to go? What is taking so long? We may not get answers like, well, you're going to be God realized or enlightened in 15 days and 2 hours and 23 seconds. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, at least give me some idea. Is it going to take 100 lifetimes? Are you talking 30 years? Are you talking 5 years? Are you taking generically for an average person 3 years? That's what I'm talking about. So yes, it's possible to put some reasonable numbers out there using examples of some people who have made it.
So it sounds like you believe we can measure our growth. Now, would that be stuff like how I feel, or if I'm healthy, or would it be my relationships are better? I mean, I feel like you're saying that we can actually kind of decide if we're growing or not, which I think sometimes we can go for years at a church or a place and not even know if we're growing because we haven't even thought that you can expect to somehow have this way of measuring. Is that what you're saying? We can measure?
Yes, in spirituality for results, which is our group, we have used these tangible matrices, if you call them, for the last 15, 20 years. And I'm not saying something that's not in some of the scriptures. I mean, if you open up a Bible, it'll tell you if you follow the system and with an open heart and a lot of diligence with a serious relationship with Jesus Christ, you're going to grow in the Spirit, and here are the fruits of the Spirit. Mm-hmm. Fruits of the Spirit are peace, joy, quiet, concentration, love, unconditional, etc., etc. They're listed somewhere. I'm not able to remember right now which particular book it says in, but it's there. But you can develop matrix on that. But we encourage our people to, and we have a list of areas where they can every 3 months go back and score themselves and do self-assessment.
Oh, okay.
Because your spirituality dictates what your life is today. In other words, your life today as it is a working level statement of where spirituality is. It's not something to talk about, it's something to practice. Mm-hmm. And the paradigm shift here is very simple. In old paradigm, you keep going to church, keep 10% and they'll give you a seat in the heaven. And my argument is, wait a minute, who has a check what's going to happen after you die? I want results now. Mm-hmm. Why didn't you show something right now? And I can interpolate and draw a curve after I die that, yeah, well, if I can be here, up to here, then maybe I'll extend the line, then something different will happen. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to settle for blank promise. Somebody says something's going to happen to you. Your life is miserable, your health is miserable, you have no money to live, you have no relationship skills, you don't know how to communicate, and you're telling me that just because I make donations to a particular organization, I'm going to make it. Who's helping me develop better skills for communication? And you can ask people within their own families. If the man cannot communicate to his own wife and children and develop enough sensitivity to know what's bothering them or where their problems are, help them, and be able to play the rightful head of household, mm-hmm. then how is chanting Hail Marys or other things are going to do a whole lot more than just very superficial shot in the arm. And it's the same thing. A lot of times people get caught up in dogmas and rituals. Well, we're going to do the fire ceremony, or we're going to do this kind of ceremony. We're going to walk under the moon, or we're going to do, we're going to go take a holy cruise. And those are wonderful things, you know. I'm not against it, because spirituality is for fun and beautiful life and vibrant, colorful way of living. So it's not saying no to life. In fact, it's more for life than life itself as we understand today. So it builds a bigger case of vibrant and fruitful life. So what I'm talking about is, this is not your grandma's spirituality. You know, this is a new paradigm, totally new paradigm. And if you want, chef, bring your 20 cents. Bring your 20 cents to spirituality for results, and we'll shift the pair of dimes. You understand? Pair of dimes, we'll shift it for you. So it's time for people like you and us to start talking about these things. That what is in it for me? How will it make my life better? You know, how will my health become better? How will my relationships get better? How my money situation get better? How my life purpose become more clear? You know, how can I find something to do that I love to do because I'm sick and tired of flipping hamburgers here? Or here people don't value me. Here my skills are not appreciated. You know, those are rightful questions. And this is the land of opportunity we live in. And with the global sensitivity now, the whole globe has become a whole land of opportunity. It doesn't matter which country you belong to. If you got an open mind, you are willing to try something different, open your heart. All I'm asking you to do is not cause a revolution. Go to your church, go to your temple, ask some sincere, real questions of your minister and your system. And please, please don't settle for wishy-washy answers. And you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Be real with yourself. And doorways will start opening.
Thank
Is
you.
it making sense?
Yes, thank you. It's really, that's like, be aware and don't just like be shut down in a fog, but be alive and aware, and then one will look for that excitement in life.
Yes, get your shopping bags, take out your MasterCards, and go out for religious shopping. You know, if one temple doesn't work, one church doesn't work, go to the next one. You know, keep going around. Try different things. Try meditation. Try yoga. You know, try Hail Marys. Try drinking holy water. Go to the shrine. You know, climb to Mount Shasta. You know, go harass some gurus. You might learn a thing to do. That's how I learned it. And I'm telling you, my life became beautiful, vibrant, and you can see I'm a little bit crazy.
And that's a good thing.
In a good way. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy talking.